Hello fellow space engineers. Today I want to share with you a project that I'm working on. It's still a work in progress, but it's almost close to completion. This is my Aether class guided missile cruiser or battle cruiser. As you can see, it's a bit beefier, a bit bulkier than the Uranus class destroyer that I showed you earlier. Now, I would like to mention some, let's say, points or arguments about having cruisers in the game. Right now, the game is really laggy, and it tends to act up when you load larger ships with a lot of blocks in them. So I was thinking, what would be the heaviest class of ship that I can make without having the game crash on me? While waiting for the developers to actually fix those issues. Well, I decided to make this battle cruiser pretty much in the same way that I made the destroyer and the frigate, using modular components, always taking inspiration in modern navies and the tendencies that they, let's say, tend to follow while building and classifying their ships. And that in turn led me to another dilemma. Is the cruiser still like a valid weapon, even like in a futuristic space setting? Nowadays cruisers are almost extinct. As I was reading, there are only 3 navies that operate cruisers, those being the US, Russia and Peru. And the Peruvian cruiser, it's the only gang cruiser in operation. It comes from an era almost like with the World War II classification. So the other 2 are guided missile cruisers, and what they basically are is like an enlarged version of a destroyer. And why is that? They used to be a different class of ship, but in current navies and also in future navies, the ships tend to be and will tend to be multifunctional. Most sci-fi productions and games or books or movies, even series, they tend to use World War II classifications for ships, and they have massive battleships, almost as large as, a space station. But I was thinking, that's an era in which naval ships were highly specialized. They had air defense destroyers, they have anti-submarine destroyers, but today is different. Almost every surface naval combatant has some sort of both anti-air and anti-submarine capacity. So that is leaving us with a classification of ships which is, let's say, more focused on capacity rather than the actual task that they perform. So I ended up with having 3 designs. The frigate, which is like a light, let's call it like escort for a carrier. Nowadays carriers are the center of the battle groups, the capital ship. So the frigates are the light escorts, then the destroyers are the medium ones, and this cruiser or battle cruiser would be the heavy type of escort. I think that is actually a simpler way of classifying them, just by the capacity that they have, meaning the ammunition capacity, the number of armament that they have, the number of individual both guns and missiles, and also torpedoes. Well, now I'm gonna talk to you a little about this cruiser in particular. It has an improved power plant, let's say an increased, not improved. It's just larger, so it can move a larger ship. It has double the capacity than the destroyer for missiles. As you can see, it has 4 missile turrets amidships and at the stern section, so for a total 8 missile turrets. It has 4 of these modules, of these rocket launching broadside modules, and it also has 4 siege turrets covering almost the entire sphere of the ship. Apart from that, the layout is basically the same as the destroyer. The only difference being that this being a slightly wider design on top and the bottom, it has more capacity for both crew services, and also areas like the briefing room and the command and control bridge, which is really important. Cruisers nowadays also they're used as uh, leaders for squadrons, or even a command and control station for an entire battle group. So that's the idea behind this one. Now, the most interesting thing, well, at least to me, is this torpedo launching system that I have been developing with a friend. It's basically a revolver torpedo launching system. As you can see, it has 8 torpedoes. It's gravity driven, although it could be also, be thruster driven by, having the thruster override set up for the torpedoes. Today, well, right now I have it as gravity driven, mainly because this allows me a fast launching of the torpedoes. They don't have to accelerate like the thruster override ones. So as you can see, it's kind of like a shuriken shape revolver thing. It fires 4 torpedoes at a time, and then it revolves 45 degrees, so it moves actually these lower torpedoes. It puts them into the, let's say, into the breech of the gun, and then you can release them. And like here, I would like to have like a production facility for torpedoes, and then some way of like ramming them in, maybe with a piston. Well, I'll see about that, and I'll show you how this thing works in a follow-up video. Take care.